because at a young age, I realised that the opposition paid better than my parents. Anybody else work for their parents? It's a bit like indentured slavery, right? Yeah. It's illegal, except when parents are involved.
I'm in it now.
I was taught to serve, look after people, wait tables, clean and cook. I've run restaurants, bars, French bakehouses. I've built and renovated homes, wrote computer software and developed multi-million-dollar enterprises. Wow. Together with my wife Jane, we formed a foundation fighting human trafficking. Wow. I've eaten with leaders of countries and dined with the poorest of the poor around the world. I've cried with the down and out and broken-hearted and celebrated with the victorious. I've had my heart broken by the social injustices of the world. I've had a hand up by the world's most needy. I've led, strategised, planned and executed business plans. I've helped others build better business and have had the privilege of being able to travel to over 90 countries to understand their culture and how it impacts ours. I've been criticised, ridiculed, encouraged and applauded, often for the same events, often at the same time, but learnt it's a matter of perspective. I love to teach, train and equip to help people achieve their best and to see them walk into a better future. I love spending time with people and investing in their world. I believe we live in an unprecedented time, a time where the world is becoming smaller, messaging is instant, but instead of tearing things down, we're at a unique point in history where we can come together and help one another. So on my way in this morning, the Lord took me back to a project we're involved in Cambodia. 9 years ago, in a dream, he said, I want you to buy land that was once rice land and may contain mines. Purchase land and develop a forestry industry. Our friends Greg and Dale Hooker and Wendy and David Drake joined us on this journey. We purchased land and then had the land stolen from us. We bought it from government officials. We thought we were doing the right thing, do all the I's crossed. Well, they were. It was just on the wrong pieces of paper. The land was stolen and it set us back a few years. We could have given up. We could have walked away from that dream, but we didn't. We walked a bit in the wilderness because the Lord had said where to buy the land, and then we started trying to buy land elsewhere because the first one fell down. That didn't work. Anybody else had been told to do something by God and you try to help him? How's that going for you? Yeah, that's what I thought. So we then, after a period of time, and we bought land in other places or tried to buy land, and then we did joint ventures and we tried to partner with people. Those things didn't work as well as what we thought they were going to. A little over 3 years ago, we ended up on some land in northern Cambodia, coincidentally, right next door to the original land we were going to buy, right in the area where God said for us to be. It's an amazing piece of land. It's wonderful. It's fertile. It's and I'm going to try and bring back the gaps here. So anyway, it's a wonderful piece of land, and we've started planting forestry. About 8 weeks ago, the Lord said He wanted me over in Cambodia. Great, no problems. I've spoken. We've been travelling, doing some stuff. So we'd organised to go, and then our partners were saying, it's not safe. There's threats of kidnapping, there's threats of danger, there's threats of people trying to steal our land, there's this and that and the other. And I was more convicted to go than ever. It was like, what am I kept writing to our partners and said, sounds like I need to be there. Sounds like I need to be, yes, it's dangerous. Yep, need to be there. Your life could be in danger. Yes, I need to be there. I want to stay on the farm. The Lord told me to stay on the farm. Well, there's kidnappings. I still need to be there. So we went. And then Dave also said, I think I need to be there too. He was in Brazil with us at the time. He came along in the second week. Now, so if you put the first picture up, please. Oh, and thank you, Thomas. We really bless you. You've got 9 different speakers with 9 different presentations, and you're magically making this all happen for us. So, I'm going to go through the slides quickly. This was construction of our hoop houses. Next. This is our hoop house full of cuttings. We're growing West African mahogany. In the West African mahogany, this year we should increase our production to 1 million trees, next year to 2 million trees. As that's planted out and grown when it comes to harvest, about 2 million trees is worth a little under $1 billion a year. It's stuff that we, the four of us, and Greg and Dar, are sowing back into the nation of Cambodia. So they've got a GDP at the moment of $20 billion. We're going to put 5% of that a year back into that country. Right? It's an amazing project. It's amazing kingdom business that we're really excited about. Next picture. That's more of the seedlings. They're getting a bit bigger. They're in the shade house. Next. These are in our standout rows. These are trees that are ready to be planted. Next. They're a 1.5-year-old tree. They're 22 feet tall. They're not meant to be. Well, actually, they are meant to be, because God said they would be. He said you would have 4 times the crop in a quarter of the time. Wow. Those trees should be that big.
Come on.
That's God. We'll just leave from there. Because the next part about this is about what God wants us to talk about. I got to Cambodia, and some things hadn't been happening as quickly as I would have liked. For those of you who know me, I like things to move, to happen. Anyway, they weren't happening as I would have liked, and I was frustrated by a few things. In my frustration, I didn't behave well. I let my attitude get out of whack. I let my responses to people get out of whack, and I was not behaving as what God wanted me to behave. I got it wrong. And a couple of things happened. One was I got a quote from a really good friend that said, "When you say, so-and-so made me angry, or even a 2-year-old child made me angry, you're giving them permission to control your world." I felt other people were responsible for my frustration, and I was saying, they made me frustrated. No, they didn't. I was frustrated. I was blaming them, and I had no right to do that. The second thing that happened was I had a very good friend, David, sitting in there, who is a good enough friend that he has the guts to tell me when I'm wrong. He has the guts to love me when I'm unlovable. And he did. He pulled me aside and said, "Hugh, I've never seen you behave like this before. You're wrong." He was strong about that. He was absolutely correct. He was wrong. I was wrong, not him. I was wrong. I'd love to say you were wrong, Dave, but I haven't seen that happen yet. But, anyway. And then I got this as a word from one of our intercessors. She said, "Hugh, I love you and you're not alone. I wish we could teleport and give you a big hug. I also felt like I saw you sitting in the corner of a room in a chair. I saw a single light and a cloud over your head. And then the door opened and the gas came in, and I saw Jesus blow the cloud away and sit at the table with you. I think Jesus is coming to you like a brother. And he's wanting to bring you in and show you that he is your friend, your partner. I just saw you talking with him. So ask him questions and vent, because he's not worried about your frustration. He's probably frustrated for you too. But then I saw you hand him a box, and he looked you in the eye and said, "I've got this," and tucked it into his chest. I think the box is you giving him the problems in this situation to him, and I think it's important for you to say out loud, "Jesus, I give you back this problem or this business. It's your problem and business to work out. I'm just a steward." And then he will come in and give you deeper strategy. You've always felt like you're on things alone, partly because of how you're built and the gifts he's given you. You're typically a couple of steps ahead of others, but he wants to give you rest in intimacy. He has secrets to tell you, and he will fight this battle on your behalf. That doesn't mean you won't be working it'll just come from a place of rest. I see wisdom on partners, and I see very tiny details that are vital that he's about to share with you. So right now, I just pray the breath of God comes into your room. I deploy angels to go and fight the accuser on your behalf while you sit with your friend. You're a powerful man of God and in business, but first you're a son who gets to sit on your dad's lap. Wow. There were 3 events that called me into a better place. I'd had other people say it's a spiritual attack. And you know, I've read the end of the book. I know that we win.
Come on, man.
Come on.
So I don't want to give the devil any credit.
Yeah. Very
And
good.
yet I feel that there are times that God will allow situations to happen in your world because he wants you to stand up and be better.
Yeah.
And this was a time he did for me. That whilst we're working through all the stuff, whilst this amazing things are happening, that he wanted to change me to be better.
Yeah.
So I want to leave you with the thought today that even in the hard times in your business, that God is there with you.
Come on.
He is on the journey with you.
Yeah.
And maybe you want to ask the question, what lesson do you want to teach me today, God? What do you want to teach me out of this situation?
Yeah.
Thank you.